This is actually one of those times when I wish there was no news, but we are still starting with the more important video, in my opinion, because tonight is AEW Full Gear, and tonight, that means we have some predictions to do. Because tonight, in my opinion, one thing that has not changed and one thing that will not change is the fact that I firmly believe, with or without William Regal, MJF will walk away with the AEW World's Championship tonight, ending the title reign, the much deserved title reign of Jon Moxley, and starting the Age of the Devil. Speaking of title reigns, I still also believe that Jamie Hayter her momentum should be capitalized upon. And AEW should allow Jamie Hayter the opportunity to become AEW interim women's champion, ending the reign of Toni Storm. Not to say that Toni Storm is not running, is not a positive champion. It's just the fact that Jamie Hayter, it would be unfair to Hayter if they did not try and capitalize on her momentum while she had it. The Acclaimed, even though I'm starting to think that maybe the injury that we saw Anthony Bowens nursing a few days ago was not a storyline, but it was not as severe as we think it is. At least that's my hope, because, like I said, the Acclaimed are one of the hottest acts in AEW, if not one of the hottest acts in wrestling, as they defend against Swerve in Our Glory in what promises to be another drop down, drag him out banger of a match tonight for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And I would love to see the Acclaimed retain the belts and start maybe the process of moving forward to challenge someone new or to get the challengers of someone new. Jericho then defends the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and fellow JAS member Sammy Guevara in a fatal four-way. In my opinion, this would be the perfect time to allow the JAS to lose, because to say that Chris Jericho is the only person that could bring some eyes to Ring of Honor as Ring of Honor champion, that would be a lie. I think Bryan Danielson being Ring of Honor champion and bringing his career full circle after all these years would make for an interesting Ring of Honor champion. And also, you have to think that when Ring of Honor becomes its own show and its own brand, would Chris Jericho go to Ring of Honor or would Chris Jericho stay with AEW? If Chris Jericho would be the Ring of Honor World's Champion, then in my opinion, he belongs in AEW. He belongs with Ring of Honor and not on the AEW brand anymore. Which then, in my opinion, would only put him with Daniel Garcia and not the rest of the JAS, because Matt Menard, Angela Parker, Guevara, Tay Mello, and Jake Hager are AEW wrestlers. They're not Ring of Honor wrestlers. So, in my opinion, that would put it where Jericho, as the champion, would appear on both brands, if not just one, because he would be the Ring of Honor champion. I think it would benefit. Or do nothing but benefit Bryan Danielson or Claudio only having to appear on one brand, or at least only having to wrestle on one brand, and not both. The feud between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy comes to a head in a steel cage match tonight. And AEW needs to be aware, because whatever happens tonight should set up for should set up for Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. It should set up for Jungle Boy and Christian Cage because that's where this feud needs to go, because that's still unfinished business there because of Christian's injury a few months ago. So there is still unfinished business there. But I think Jungle Boy most definitely wins tonight because that feud with him and Luchasaurus needs to come to a close. Speaking of coming to a close, Jade Cargill against Nyla Rose for the TNT title. For the TBS championship. I apologize. For the TBS championship. Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose. I think Jade Cargill is going to win, but that's just me. Britt Baker and Saraya. Saraya is the next person who sustained a career-ending injury to return. It's been 3 years. I don't know. I think, in my opinion, Saraya should be booked like Sting is, where Sting is booked here and there, and sometimes when the match calls for it or when the feud calls for it, but not overused and not an active wrestler. I think Saraya has to win, and this could lead to something where Britt's momentum is finally in question after so many years of her not only establishing solid momentum, but I think at this point Britt Baker is on the grounds of bulletproof, so it's okay. Speaking of Sting, him and Darby Allin go against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I think I'm going to go back to what I've said in the news videos. Cole Carter needs to get involved and help Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett win for it to make sense why Cole Carter appeared with them in the first place. Otherwise, also I think Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal need to win because they have Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt at ringside, so they need to use the numbers game to their advantage. And I'm sick and tired of Sting and Darby winning every feud they're in. Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs collide in a triple threat for the TNT title. I think I'm going to keep with what I said, where somebody's there to be protected, and I'm going to say it's probably Samoa Joe, unfortunately for Powerhouse. So Wardlow is probably going to win, and it's going to set up a match between Samoa Joe and Wardlow. The Trios titles are on the line with the return of the Elite against Death Triangle, and I'm going to stick also what I said in a previous news video, where I said that the Elite should lose tonight and not automatically win back their titles after being suspended since All Out, because the more interesting story would be them working to get their titles back, not automatically getting their titles back. Because it would discount the reign of Death Triangle as the company and not help the company establish the six-man trios titles like they want to, waiting to put the belts on the Elite and building some sort of a feud, building a better story, and building a rematch would be the more ideal situation. Even if you wait until Winter is Coming in December, I think that would be the better way to go, in my opinion. So I think Death Triangle wins tonight. Best Friends versus The Factory on the pre-show in a 10-man tag team match. Every member of Best Friends, including Rocky Romero, Danhausen, the Trent Beretta, Chucky T, and All-Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy against The Factory. QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, yada, 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 yada. Pretty obvious the Best Friends are going to win. I'd be dumbfounded if The Factory actually wins. And the other match is the finals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. The semifinals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament with Ricky Starks against Brian Cage. Again, I would have liked to seen this match stay on the A show, the main part of the show. But after what happened at Rampage, I could see Brian Cage winning. But because both Brian Cage and Ethan Page are heels, Ricky Starks wins. And, maybe we see another attack from Lance Archer. We'll see what happens. But I have a sneaking suspicion that things between Lance Archer and Ricky Starks might not be over yet. But we'll have to wait and see for that. With that being said, though, these have been my thoughts and my predictions for AEW Full Gear. Let me know yours down below. leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. And before you go, do not forget to ding dong that notification bell to always know when a new video is up on the channel. It's right below, it's right next to the subscription box. That is the only way you'll get a notification when I post a new video. And until next time, I'll see you again soon. Enjoy Full Gear tonight.